Let's break down some clips from Illinois last night on how they were able to dissect some of the Houston pressure defense. Going into this game, I thought that Illinois was very well positioned offensively to be able to exploit some of the things that Houston does on defense. And so I got 8 different clips I'm going to break down for you right now to just show some ways in which you can handle pressure. Illinois did a great job of doing this yesterday. And most of this revolves around getting some sort of paint touch. If you can get a paint touch, you can be successful. You're collapsing defense, you're able to kick out, and you're able to do a lot of things from there, some of which coming from a post touch and other goods like that as well. So they're going to start off the game. Well, not start off the game, it's later in the game. It's kind of an ugly first half, but they're going to get a switch into a post touch. I saw this a couple of times being run by them. You try to get a switch, you get a Boswell to get a Kingston Fleming switch on him, throw it to the corner, and then get right away into a post touch. Anytime you can get a big on a small, a bare mismatch in the post, you've got the attention of the defense. And then when you're in Illinois and you can space the floor backside with guys that are ready to shoot the ball, you know that you can do something dangerous. Kick, one more, great shot by Wagler. Post touch, great switch right there. A lot of teams are going to try to run this touch action into a short roll that Illinois tries to go here. So you get two to the ball, you get a touch, and you short roll with your back to the basket so you can make yourself available right there. Well, Houston's going to try to tag out of that, and they're going to try to exploit this. Illinois is. Okay, so a little bit of a ram into a touch, get two to the ball. You can get this right away if you're Wagler. If you could throw that there, good. Houston does a great job with their length, making that a difficult pass. So instead, they're going to get a hockey pass. 1 there. I call it a hockey pass because really, Wagler's the one that really makes this play happen. So he should get a hockey assist for this. There, then there. So you got a couple of lifts up out of that. Where the guy that was setting that original Ram screen is popping, so we can throw him that pass. You're lifting up out of the corner as well to take away this tag help right there. Gosh, that's awesome. Third way they do it, just crashing the offensive glass. I mean, they do not care about Houston in transition one bit. I think for a lot of teams, they say, hey, if you're above the free throw line, let's go ahead and get back on defense. But crash, crash, crash. I mean, there is zero transition defense from Illinois right here. They are being aggressive on the offensive glass. I mean, for a team like Houston that is just as aggressive on the boards, Illinois matched that intensity. I feel like you got to in some ways in games like this. Wagler gets the ball. A lot of times it can result in a kick out three, but he's okay with getting physical down low too. The fourth way I think you got to go about this is just simply piercing the paint in transition. You got to find a way to get into the paint in transition. It can be ugly. I don't really care how it looks, but make the defense match up and collapse on you. You can get a cutter right here, or maybe you got two on the backside. You can kick it, get a three ball in the corner, but great cut right here and a finish. But anytime you can push, 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 push the ball in transition against a team that loves to pressure like Houston, I think it's going to help you because you don't have to face a set defense in the half court. Awesome. They did that multiple times throughout. Now a little bit more schematic stuff other than, hey, crash the glass, get out in transition. I think changing the angle of the screen is a really big deal. So we're going to come up right here and we're going to change the angle of the screen at the last second. I've been calling it a turn screen lately. I think it registers for players a little bit more that you're turning the angle of your screen at the last second. When facing pressure, if you're just going to come up and set the screen right here, it makes it really easy for the defense to send two to the ball right there. But last second, if the point guard's patient and you can turn that screen at the last second, it gets the defense slightly out of position. So now you can't really send two to the ball like you're necessarily wanting to. And if you're Wagler, you can use that screen. You're forcing Fleming's over the top right there, and you can get downhill. Get downhill. Would have liked to see a little bit more help from Uzan right there. But great. A little turn screen manipulates some of that pressure that the big potentially can put on for Houston. Now, this is something that I love if you're able to shoot the ball. A simple pop. They're going to go with a little horns twist action right here. And if you can pop out of that and send two to the ball, that makes it really dangerous because now you have one guy having to cover two, and it puts the defense in a really tough position. But if you want to do this, you have to stretch out the dribble, stretch, 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 and really make the defense come and cover two so that it puts the defense in a horrible position, right? I mean, right here, you really got to take this away and hope that You can come back and maybe stretch down here on the cutter. This is a great job cutting to the basket, though, right here. It puts him in a horrible position. Great job from Illinois. I mean, you are just doing some basic, you get two on the ball principles. Get two on the ball, stretch out the dribble. Great job. I mean, you have given yourself an advantage right there. That is awesome basketball. Another thing out of the pop that I really like is the empty actions that you potentially can run. So they're going to clear the corner out right here, and they're going to run some sort of pop into an empty. So again, same thing. If you're trying to get two to the ball right here, let's pop a big out to space whenever you cut a guy through right there. It makes it really difficult for somebody. I mean, look how far over they're going to have to hustle and get over to try to actually do any sort of closing out, of helping. I mean, if you don't do this right here, this is an open three right here, and it makes it really difficult. But Houston recovers. Similar thing. Let's get into an empty pop, and now they're having to rotate again. Attack a closeout hard. Get into the paint. Great finish. Those empty actions, I think, work really well against pressure. And so Illinois has shown the proclivity to really like running some of these pop actions out of it. It's giving Houston some fits. Again, that was probably the biggest thing why I thought Illinois had an advantage in this game against Houston, because of their ability to pop. It makes it really difficult for a pressure type defense. So Houston's going to try to take it away, and then Illinois has a plan B, C, D for almost anything that you're going to do. So similar look right here. They're going to pop, send two to the ball. Boswell does a good job of stretching the dribble right here. You got help right there where you can tag up, and it's like, okay, so freeze frame this right here. You've got 1, 2, covering 1, 2, 3. It honestly turns into a game of zone offense a little bit, where let's flash somebody to the high post because two guys cannot cover 3, and let's make life really difficult for the defense having to try to cover something like this. Okay, so a little pop, send two to the ball, 2 have to cover 3. Let's flash to that high post right there. Defense has to help, and this is an incredible pass from Boswell to the corner. Open 3 for Wagler. That is elite offensive execution, and some great ways that Illinois played last night against Houston.